thunderstorm is going to be coming to parts of the United States over the next few days. So stick around to find out if you're going to be impacted and who will be impacted the most. Alrighty, so starting off here, we're taking a look at the MRMS, which is basically just like the composite radar. So let's move this down here. Okay, so as you can see, we have all this precipitation here falling across Kentucky and even north central Tennessee. We're expecting this shield of precipitation to move southeast over the coming hours. So as this precipitation moves to the southeast, we're going to see many areas in east and middle Tennessee pick up about 1 to 3 inches of snowfall, with some heavier amounts possible, obviously, in the higher elevations. Areas like Knoxville, Sevierville, Bristol, Pigeon Forge could see quite a bit of snowfall. Even areas in northern Georgia could see some snowfall. And then I kind of took off the winter storm warnings because there were so many, but we have winter storm warnings all along the southeast here, all the way from Knoxville all the way to Greenville, North Carolina, Charleston, South Carolina, Savannah, Georgia. Oh, Savannah is in a winter weather advisory. Out towards Atlanta, Gainesville, Georgia, Murphy, Tennessee. So a lot of areas here in a winter storm warning. And then we also have even a hurricane force wind warning here in this red square. And it's actually kind of crazy. Let's see. Northwest winds. Let's see. Waves up to 6 to 10 feet. So also be watching for some waves along the shoreline, maybe even some coastal flooding from this event, as the wind is going to be blowing inland since it's a low pressure system. This is how low pressure systems work. They go counterclockwise. So they go counter. Let's see. If they go counterclockwise, then they go like this. Okay. So this is counterclockwise, I believe it is. So this is how low pressure systems work. So like the north side of these peninsulas could see some inundation a little bit because of how strong the winds will be. I mean, the future winds are expected to be like crazy, like 50 miles an hour, 40 miles per hour. And even sustained winds in the 30s. That's why they're saying this could be a blizzard. And if we get these consistent onshore winds, we could see some, maybe even a little bit of storm surge. Although it wouldn't be anything too bad. Like, it wouldn't be much. So, anyways, let's see. So, as this system we continue to see persistent snow showers, barely moving at all, barely moving at all. So that means that this storm track, because Weatherwise just added storm track, and I thought that was super cool. And this storm track, let's see, it's moving really slowly. Moving actually super slow. So at this point, let's see, what time would it be in Nashville? So we'll estimate this thing is probably generous, but we'll estimate this thing is moving at about 20 miles per hour. So moving at 20 miles per hour, that would mean that just traveling this distance, it would be in Nashville in 40 minutes. If it was moving south-southeast at 40 or 20 miles per hour. So, as you can tell, very slow mover, not very much movement at all with this storm. Although, I do expect that to kind of speed up whenever the low pressure system kind of gets involved here. I do expect that to speed up quite a bit. We do have this high pressure system. This will um, it'll kind of impact this system a little bit, keep it a little bit south for now, maybe, depending on how this all plays out. So we'll just have to see how that plays out. We have a clipper system. Whoops. We have a little bit of a clipper system moving through the areas in the plains here. And then other than those two little winter weather events, the only thing we have is a pretty localized, very localized, in fact. We have a little atmospheric river event. We got the higher elevation seeing some snowfall. Although I do want to point out something though. Something we've seen consistently throughout the winter. We've seen kind of this ridge effect here, where it's like ridging in the east, and then ridging in the west, and then once you go out east, the jet stream starts dipping, and then you get this troughing pattern. This brings down all the cool air, and then out in the west, once you get this ridging pattern, you kind of bring all the warm air to the north, and these high pressure systems are aiding, definitely keeping it drier, and therefore the sun can shine through more. And then we have a lot of low pressure systems out in the east, and so that like the sun can't poke through as much. Very much cloudy. I'm in the eastern United States, and it's very cloudy outside right now. Even though no precipitation is falling at the moment, we're forecast to see a little bit of snow, in fact, here, but though no precipitation is falling at the moment, so we do have a localized winter storm threat, very localized. There's like a winter storm warning for just like this, one or two counties here. It was very localized. We had most of the snow would fall here, right along the shoreline of the Great Lake, Lake Michigan. So, anyways, that's enough of that. Let's get to the weather models. I know a lot of y'all were probably waiting for this, so let's get on with it. About now, you know, we see this. We see the precipitation in Kentucky and Tennessee, and then we have this area offshore, and that's gonna come up and bring this low pressure system, where this precipitation starts to intensify across portions of eastern Tennessee and Kentucky, and then the rain will kind of stick offshore a little bit. And if you watch closely, we will have a little bit of a sleet and freezing rain threat here across northeastern South Carolina, like Myrtle Beach. It won't be long. It'll just be barely a glaze, but it will be there, so be careful if you live in Myrtle Beach. But we have this precipitation shield definitely intensifying as this low pressure system drops. It's going to become something called a bomb cyclone, where so you have a day which is 24 hours, so it has to drop 24 millibars in pressure, so minus 25 millibars in 24 hours or less, or 24 hours or less. So it's a very intense storm. This low pressure system gonna drop. Watch. It started out as what was it? 1010 millibar, 1014. It started out as a 1014 millibar low. It quickly drops down into the 970s, which definitely meets the qualification for the drop in pressure. But the thing is, does it meet the time? However, we have this snow shield kind of reaching further inland, all the way out to the Appalachian Mountain Range. We even see on this model a few flurries behind that. I'll show you all the NAM in a second, but we do get another little clipper system from Canada trying to bring down some light precipitation. The GFS has a little hint at another little winter storm threat here. We have the low pressure system, maybe even a severe weather threat. Depends on the temperatures and everything, but we have precipitation falling as rain to the south. And then we have wintry precipitation up here in Kentucky, but that would be about it for that storm. It's trying to hint at another Carolina snowstorm, but I'm not sure if that will be the case. It's showing a very active winter pattern, specifically for the eastern United States, as with these cold blasts, when these cold blasts come down, they can also often bring winter storms along with it. And it tried to show a very intense, organized winter storm, 996 low, very organized mixing line here, and then we have a big snow band off to the north. This isn't out of the question. It's just not likely at this point that much of this out here, this was like quite a few hours out here. This is near the end of the model run. This would be very intense snow. If we look at the Euro model to see its thoughts, what it thinks will happen. By the way, models aren't really a forecast. They're just an idea of what could happen. So we see it's showing the freezing rain more out to sea, as well as a lot of heavy snow inland, more of the snow inland. Whoops. Let's see. And it really doesn't do much after that. The Euro tries to hint at that little system as well. We have a lot of systems coming out of the northwest and dropping down into the United States. So a lot of these systems, let's see, this would be a very intense system. We may even see a little severe weather threat, but we have a little cold front here, and then we have a massive warm front. We have a massive warm sector, and this high pressure system could drive some of this moisture up into the United States there. So we'll just have to see how everything plays out. Let's take a look at some of the more short-range models. Let's see. Surface and precipitation. Let's see. This is the 12Z run, so it goes out to 48 hours. Lucky to film it at this time, this video at this time. So this is the first frame. This is Friday today. So we're getting towards afternoon time here. As you can see, we have those little snow showers. They kind of expand. And we have this system forming. 1006 millibar low, light precipitation. We even have some dry slotting here. So we're going to have to watch out for that. And then as this precipitation kind of wraps around the low, it kind of brings everything in. All the precipitation falls. We're going to kind of see how this moves and progresses out to sea. So on the HRRR, let's look at the winter weather total snowfall. So we have this little winter weather bringing a little bit of snowfall, this little clipper system, out to the Midwest, although not too much, maybe an inch in spots. We do have it showing a lot more intense snowfall than what it seemed to be. So we have quite a bit of snowfall on this. We have an inch of snowfall back towards areas like Nashville. Nashville's not directly in the inch of snowfall, but they're near it. All the way down near Florida. We could see some accumulating snowfall in Florida. Is that what this is showing in near Tampa area? And that's been a while since that's happened, obviously. A pretty rare event there. We have a lot of snowfall falling across the Carolinas here. 6 to 8 inches it's looking like, and for the Outer Banks maybe even 12 to 16 inches, where the most intense precipitation will be, as well as the Tennessee mountains at around 8 to 12 inches for areas there. So let's take a look at the NOAA model. So the NOAA, let's show the precipitation first. Okay, this is the reflectivity type. We have it kind of wanting to form a little bit of a low pressure system here. This would kind of help the precipitation to intensify a little bit before it actually starts to get going. and then we see very intense precipitation out of that. And then it kind of wants to have another little clipper system kind of move through this area and kind of die out. So after everything is said and done, the winter weather, the total snowfall, like again, we have this little area of winter weather here, and then it's showing this little clipper system dropping potentially even up to an inch in areas, but out on the Outer Banks, it is showing potentially up to 24 to 28 inches in localized spots, a widespread 12 to 18 inches or 12 to 16 inches. And then for the Tennessee Mountains, 6 to 12 inches. Same thing for most of South Carolina, 6 to 10 inches there. And then we have this little clipper system dropping about an inch on its way down. That's something interesting as well. I wanted to go back and look at that. That was very interesting to see how that played out. Because a lot of the models did not show it playing out like that. You see, they showed it much weaker. However, we have this setup where the low pressure system is kind of trying to wrap in that snowfall, but it kind of collapses and sends this energy shooting off south with the jet stream. So as this kind of shot off south, it actually was pretty nice snow showers there. So that's just something interesting I wanted to point out. Oops, did not mean to. Come on. There we go. Okay. So this is the NAM 3 kilometers. We have the light snowfall developing once again. It doesn't want to show the snowfall on this one or the low pressure system developing like that on this one. However, we do see some intense snowfall with maybe some dry slotting there. And then we see that system once again. It's wanting to bring this snowfall down to the south. So we'll kind of have to watch what this does, but this was the last frame as far as it goes out. So the NAM is really wanting to show this moving further south, so that's going to be pretty interesting, especially this snow on top of the snow that fell through these regions during this system here. So let us look at the icon. I know I usually do that every video. So it kind of shows just like quick system. It shows the snow line being way far out to sea, and it shows it being further out, so it kind of shows it rocketing out. And then the icon is kind of wanting to show that system. Let's see, that system, it does shoot off to the south a little bit, this parcel of energy here. However, it doesn't make it as far south as the NAM would have it to be. So let's take a look at the icon's snow totals. Whoa. I did not mean for that to happen, by the way. That was on an accident. Okay, well, that was an accident, so let's see. I'm probably gonna have to edit part of that, the ads and everything, but anyways, let's see. So the icon is wanting to show here. In fact, let's take a look at the regional areas in the Ohio Valley here. So kind of this is showing the system starting off. It's dropping a decent amount of snowfall, so it kind of wants to show it like, and then let's get rid of that other system that came on. All right, so it's showing about a foot in inland areas as well as coastal areas out to sea, and then we kind of see about 5 to 10 inches in northern South Carolina. Quite a bit of snowfall there. Charleston area picking up about 1 to 3 inches. Atlanta area picking about 1 to 2 inches, and then in Tennessee area, out towards areas like Nashville picking up a dusting. However, areas along and east of this area could pick up 1 to 3 inches of snowfall. The Tennessee mountains picking up anywhere from 6 to 16 inches. Wide range, however, many elevation differences. So very broad range there. Let's take a look at the let's see, GFS regional, what it's wanting to show. So the GFS is wanting to show about 14 inches for an isolated pocket in eastern North Carolina, as well as around 14 to 16 inches in a spot in the mountains of Tennessee. Very isolated areas could pick up more than this, and we may see overperforming. We see a very big area in South Carolina picking up around 7 to 11 inches of snowfall. Charleston area picking up about 1 to 3 inches of snowfall. Atlanta area about 1 to 3 inches as well. Nashville picking up about 1 inch on this model. And areas in the eastern part of Tennessee here, eastern middle portion, picking up around 1 to 3 inches. So moving on to the National Weather Service Watch Warning Advisory display, as you can see, a lot of winter storm warnings. So many, the entire state of North Carolina and the entire state of South Carolina are in winter alerts right now, winter storm warnings. And then entire eastern half of Georgia as well, and the entire eastern half of Tennessee is in winter alerts as well. Entire state of Florida in cold weather alerts, I guess you can say. Most of Mississippi and Alabama are as well. So, and then you can see all the way up from Texas all the way into the northeast, we have extreme cold alerts. Let's see, this is cold weather advisories. Very cold air. You can see we have the cold front moving through with this system. That's going to bring frigid air to the southeastern United States. And then we have winter weather advisories across the north central United States as well. Moving along, we have 6 to 10 day temperature outlook February 4th through the 8th. So we have the eastern United States remaining cold while the western United States continues to have very warm conditions, especially for their seasonal averages. We have this trough in the east, ridge out in the west. Kind of they do reverse things where the ridge brings up warmer air and the trough brings down colder air. So we kind of see this flow in the jet stream. We have the 6 to 10 day precipitation outlook. Most of the United States drier, aside from the northern plains and the south central plains. So moving along to the 8 to 10 day, if I can, there we go. 6 to 12, February 6 to 12, 8 to 14 day. We continue to see this pattern of ridging in the west and cold out in the east. So, very similar pattern to what we've been seeing all winter long. Very much above average temperatures, especially for the southern areas here. And then very below average temperatures, especially for the northern areas. Areas in Florida as well being very much below average for this time of year. We do have a drier area in the east and west. Only areas really above average in precipitation are the south central and north central United States. So, if you haven't already, you should check out EpicPen. Good resource. So we have EpicPen here. You can get the free version or you can get the pro version, which the pro version is really good, in my opinion, much better than the free version. So only $2 a month. That's only $24 a year annually. So that's not very much for quite a bit. So thank you for watching today's video, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.